The halacha that we're going to talk about today is an egg, a raw egg. Does a raw egg have the status of muktze or not on Shabbat? On the one hand, we know that a raw egg, when it comes to the rules of bishure goyim, anything that is cooked by a goy that is not considered to be edible raw is a problem on Shabbat, obviously, and during the week. Because of bishure goyim, a goy is not supposed to cook food for a Jew from the beginning to the end without the Jew being involved in the cooking. Again, if it's something that is not edible raw. If it's edible raw and the goy cooks it, like an apple, like other things that are edible, cheese is edible raw, and he cooks it, then there's no problem with bishure goyim. So in Hilchot bishure goyim, the Shulchan Aruch says an egg is something that's not considered to be edible raw, and if a goy cooks an egg for you, makes a scrambled egg for you, it is asur for you to eat it. Why? Because of the problem of bishure goyim. A lot of times, Sfaradim, we go to bagel shops, we go to other places, and we see there are workers there that are not Jewish. And we ask for scrambled egg, we'll put it in our bagel, and the goyim go ahead and they make eggs for us. That's asur. That's called bishure goyim. A goy is cooking a raw egg for you. Shulchan Aruch says it's asur to eat that egg. So a person has to tell a Jew, either the mashgiach or the owner, if the owner is Jewish, or himself. Sometimes you could go and say, I'll put it in myself. And then that way you can fulfill the halacha as it's supposed to be fulfilled. In terms of Shabbat, do we say the same thing? Do we say a raw egg is not considered to be edible, and therefore it is muktze? Fascinatingly, the Shulchan Aruch says there's a difference between Shabbat and bishure goyim, and in terms of Shabbat, it is not considered to be muktze, and it is considered to be edible. What's the difference? Bishure goyim, the rules are if it's edible, but only barely, like in cases of need, so then we say that's not good enough. You have to have it to be edible for bishure goyim in order to be out of the category of bishure goyim. However, in Hilchot Shabbat, even something that's edible in unusual circumstances, but it's still considered to be edible, that is good enough in terms of the rules of muktze. So let's take a raw egg as an example. Every bar mitzvah boy knows that you can use a raw egg. How does he know? Because you take a raw egg and you tell him to swallow it, and it helps the fluidity of the voice. And you can eat a raw egg. It could be eaten, and therefore it's considered to be edible in cases or in situations where it's necessary to have it as is. Therefore, a raw egg is not deemed to be muktze. The only time a raw egg would be muktze is if the egg was laid on Shabbat, and then it's a question of nolad. If the egg was laid on Shabbat, so for that Shabbat, it is muktze until the next Shabbat or until the next day, as a matter of fact. But otherwise, an egg is not to be considered muktze. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.